Good day, my friends. Another beautiful miracle story here of John Paul II. This is told by one of my followers again, and is the third miracle from my followers. 3 people have left comments of different miracles with interactions of John Paul II. These are miracles that you don't get to hear about in the public sphere because they are just personal testimonies. This man says, I was teaching in high school in Edmonton, Alberta in 2002. I worked with a man named Carl. He was married to Suzanne. They had been married for many years. They were both in their late 30s. Carl and I taught in a Catholic school, and so did his wife, in an elementary school across town. In 1993, they had accompanied a group of students to World Youth Day in Denver, Colorado. It was the first time for an event like it in North America. When they were there, Carl and Susan had kept their routine of walking very early in the morning. And so they did this morning. As they were walking this beautiful Colorado trail, they met with a group of security guards monitoring them to stop and wait. There was a little curve in the trail, and they knew right away that somebody very important must have been walking that trail at the same time that morning. So they waited, and all of a sudden that individual would appear in the morning mist. The security guards asked them to move, and there he appeared in white and a rosary in his hands. He looked at them and smiled and motioned to the security guards to let them come. And so they did, hearts beating fast, and as they drew near, they both knelt down. Pope John Paul II blessed them, and then had a conversation with them. He spoke French. Carl and Suzanne were both originally from the province of Quebec. The conversation lasted a few minutes, and then it was over, and John Paul II went on, finishing his morning walk, reciting his rosary. Carl and Suzanne were so excited they quickly returned to the group to tell about the great encounter with the Pope. After World Youth Day, they returned home to Edmonton. The following month, Suzanne and Carl got pregnant, and 9 months later, Suzanne gave birth to a healthy boy, John Paul. When I met Carl and Suzanne, John Paul was 7 years old. You see, Suzanne and Carl had been told by doctors they would never have children. They had tried for years, but no success. It was a miracle. When they had the conversation with Pope John Paul II that morning on the trails, Carl and Suzanne had cried together while saying they could not have children. And his blessing was enough to change their circumstances. God bless.